Hello and welcome to Non-Inkables. This is a recap of the Lorecast that just happened in case you missed it. They showed the new trailer for this set, which is going to be called Azurite Seas. And it's basically showing a boat with the Illumineers plus Jasmine and Winnie the Pooh and Baymax and a hero. And then they are all like, they're sailing the seas, and then all these like big old waves come up that look like a maze, basically, of water. And then they are attacked by Kakamora. And so they show that trailer. It's not up on YouTube yet, but maybe by the time I post this video, it will be. And then they showed off what products they're going to have for set 6. And those pictures are also, usually they have them up for download on the resources website, but currently not yet. And I didn't take any pictures of them, sorry. But they're going to have for the gift set, it's going to be like a Stitch gift set. So it's going to have a portfolio, like a binder for the cards, and it has all the Stitch artwork on it. You get 4 booster packs with that, and then you get a foil promo Stitch. It's the Stitch Alien Buccaneer that's only with this set. And then they're obviously going to have a trove. It's just called Treasure Trove since it's like pirate themed. And then they're going to have some Scar sleeves. So the Scar from set 5, they're going to have that as a sleeve and a deck box. And then the other sleeve and deck box they're going to have is Honey Wizard back from set 1, I think. And then the 2 play mats are going to be Elsa 5th Spirit and then Donald Buccaneer. And then they kind of talked about the highlights and stuff that was announced at D23. So in 2025, we're going to get Glimmers from Black Cauldron, and then in 2026, we're going to get Pocahontas and Pixar. And then they also mentioned the dates for the regional championships. So the European Championship will be at Disneyland Paris, December 6th to 8th, and then the North American Championships will be at Disneyland in Anaheim, January 10th to 12th. I think it's actually at like Disneyland Resort, not at the park. And then World Championships, still no date, but it's going to be at Walt Disney World in Florida. And then they kind of talked about the 2 parts of Disney Lorcana. So there's like the challenge, which is like the competitive part. And then there's going to be like Disney Lorcana Quest, which is more for those social players. And they kept talking about like dressing up as your favorite Glimmer. Like it got mentioned twice, but then they didn't really talk about it much more than that. Just that was like a thing. And then they revealed a bunch of cards, which I took screenshots of all of, so I will go through that next. And then they went to a break and came back, and then they showed a commercial. It looks like kind of like a TV commercial for Lorcana. And it actually reminds me of like the Nintendo Switch commercials. But the people in the commercials are all ballers because there was like a girl with like a binder of just enchanteds, including the enchanted Elsa. And then there was someone else who was playing with a D23 Cinderella card, like he shifted his Cinderella. And I was like, man, these people have money. And then they played 2 rounds of Pack Rush, one with Ryan and I forgot her name and I didn't write it down. The person who's like the event manager, and then another game with I wrote down his name, Edgar, who is the senior art director, and then the person who's in charge of fan events. So stuff outside of the competitor circuit. Pack Rush they did have when we went to Fort Worth, Texas, and I think it started in Atlanta. But basically, each person gets 2 booster packs, and then the marketing card is ink, and then you start with 2 ink. So because you have 2 packs, 1 from each one, you shuffle the card. Everybody starts with 5 cards, and then you play to 15 lore. If you happen to run out of cards, you can just shuffle your deck. You can also play it multiplayer, which I think would be fun. I'm wondering if you've played this with set 3 booster packs, because those have 2 cards, because it's like the explaining locations one. If you would just start with 4 ink, I feel like that would make it more interesting. Or if you play with like one pack from set 3 and 1 pack from another set, then you would have like 3 ink to start with. Something interesting. But reason why all of you are here for the cards. Okay, so let's go through the cards. Okay, so there was a mention of Azurite Sea in the set 5 card. So in this Monstro card at the bottom, the flavor text says, "The great beast breached the surface of the Azurite Sea, and the cry went out, Monstro, Monstro." They also talked about how on these cards, like right above the flavor text, you see that like line that is a pen, and that means that the phrase underneath was written by one of the game developers as opposed to being pulled either from a song or directly from the narrative. Okay, so first they showed off all these Baymax cards. So this is the first one. 3-cost inkable card in Sapphire Baymax Personal Healthcare Companion. 0 strength, 4 willpower. There's a ton of 0 strength cards that they showed. He quests for 2. His ability is fully charged. If you have an inventor character in play, you pay 1 ink less to play this character. And then the other ability is you set out 2 ink, remove up to 1 damage from another chosen character, which I think is kind of expensive to remove 1 damage. So I don't know that one will be used very often. And then the inventor cards we have so far are like Maurice, obviously. There's a Belle inventor. I think Hiram is also an inventor. And so there's definitely a lot of inventor synergy with this set. And Baymax is a storyborn hero and robot. Next, they showed this Hero Hamada card, Robotics Prodigy. Also in Sapphire, 3-cost inkable card, 0 strength again. 3 willpower, quest for 1. He is a storyborn hero and inventor. He has the ability Sweet Tech. So you can exert and pay 2 ink, search your deck for an item card or a robot card, character card, and reveal it to all players. Shuffle your deck and put that card on the top of it. And his flavor text is a couple more tweaks and I've just about got it. And I like the art on this one. I don't think this card is very good, but the art is very cool. It actually kind of reminds me of like Minority Report. Next, we have Honey Lemon, Chemical Genius. So 2-cost inkable card in Emerald, 1/1, quest for 2. Her ability is, here's the best part. When you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to have each opponent choose and discard a card. So more discard because it's Emerald. And her flavor text says, you're going to love this. And as you can see, it doesn't look like a pen. It's like an open book. And so that means it came directly from the movie. And then we have Fred, Mascot by Day, 1-cost inkable card, 1/1 in Emerald, storyborn hero, quest for 1. His ability is, how cool is that? Whenever this character is challenged, gain 2 lore. So almost like a reverse Goofy, I suppose. Like a reverse Super Goof, where when Super Goof challenges, you get 2 lore, but when he gets challenged, you get 2 lore. So I think for this one, not great if they're playing Steel and they can just remove it without challenging, Or if they're playing like Brawl, although kind of a waste of a Brawl to spend it on a 1-cost card. Next, we have Wasabi, 4-cost inkable card in Sapphire, Methodical Engineer. 3 strength, 3 willpower, quest for 1. He has 2 abilities. One is Blades of Fury. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item. Its player gains 1 lore. So kind of like that Glean action card, but you only get 1 lore instead of 2. I think there's also that Triton. When you banish an item, you get 3 lore. So kind of like a mini one of those. And his other ability is Quick Reflexes. During your turn, this character gains Evasive. So it would be like, I guess, a Diablo counter if you're on the play, maybe, but not great. And they did say when they were announcing this, because he revealed these cards with the art director, that the chains are like part of the narrative for Azurite Sea. So I assume people or the boat gets chained, and so they have to break the chains to free themselves. And it's interesting that like Ursula's Return was like Attack of Ursula, basically. And then we had Shimmering Skies, which was just celebration and fun. And now we're back to being attacked. I guess technically exploring like an Inklands and subsequently getting attacked. Then we have this legendary card, Baymax Armored Companion, 5-cost inkable card in Sapphire, 2/6. So dies to Brawl and Medusa, unfortunately. He's a storyborn hero robot. He quests for 2. And his ability is, the treatment is working. When you play this character and whenever he quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from another chosen character of yours. Gain 1 lore for each 1 damage removed this way. So that's good, I guess. You can heal and get lore. So you basically get 2 lore when you play him. And if he survives and he can quest and your other characters have damage, you can get 2 lore again. Then we have, I took a screenshot. This is Ryan with Edgar, who is the art director. I like that they have these giant enchanted cards in the back. And how do I get my hand on one of those? Because I would like one of those. Next, we have Chip from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. So Chip is a 4-cost inkable card, Ranger Leader, 3/4 in Amber, storyborn hero. He quests for 2, and his ability is the Value of Friendship. When you have a character named Dale in play, this character gains support. So far, we only have one other Dale card, but hopefully there'll be more, so there'll be more synergy. But I feel like the Amber cards tend to be a little bit weak. This is the Dale card we have. 4-cost Inkable card, 3/4, Quest for 1, Mischievous Ranger, Storyborn Hero. His ability is Nuts About Pranks. When you play this character, you may put the top 3 cards of your deck into your discard to give chosen character -3 strength until the start of your next turn. And Edgar mentioned, like, hey, it's because he has 3 acorns, so it's -3 strength because you're decking acorns, which I think is pretty funny. Okay, next we have Gadget Hack Wrench. 6-cost Inkable card in Sapphire 3/6 Brilliant Buzzin. I was going to look up what Buzzin is, but I forgot to. Anyway, she is a Shift 4 Floodborn Ally Inventor. Quest for 3, which is a lot. And her ability is Mechanically Savvy. When you have 3 or more items in play, you pay 1 ink less to play Inventor characters. So a lot of synergy with like maybe an Inventors and only items deck, which would be cool because you could play like, you could have her, you could have Maurice where with like Belle's house, and then you could play a bunch of items for free. And then if you have Maurice's workshop, every time you play an item, you would draw a card. It could be insane. It could really pop off. You could play maybe a Mono Sapphire deck. I don't know. That would be cool. Okay, next we have 2-cost Inkable card in Amber, Rescue Rangers Away. It's an action. Count the number of characters you have in play. Chosen character loses strength equal to that number until the start of your next turn. I thought about immediately, like, what if you had a bunch of characters in play and then they played like a Scar Vicious Cheater or something? And then you could make the Vicious Cheater lose a bunch of strength, so then it's kind of useless, or like a Maui or something. I was just thinking Scar Vicious Cheater because it can ready every time it banishes a character. But if you decrease its strength, it can't banish any characters. But then I suppose it has Rush, so probably not great actually on further thinking. But interesting card. Next, we have a location. So this is the Galactic Council Chamber from Lilo and Stitch. 3-cost Inkable card in Steel. 1 to move there. 7 willpower quests. And doesn't quest for 1. Gets 1 passive lore. And it says, Federation Decree. While you have an alien or robot character here, this location can't be challenged. So immediately I think Stitch is an alien. Jumba Jukiba, Gontu are all aliens. Baymax is a robot. Maybe we'll see like more characters from like the alien part. Like maybe, I don't know the name of the lady who seems to be in charge of the Galactic Council Chamber. Maybe she'll be a card. But yeah, interesting. And then next we have Hot Potato. So 3-cost Inkable action in Steel. Choose 1. Deal 2 damage to a chosen character. So kind of like a Baboom, or fire the cannons. Or banish chosen items. So kind of like, I don't know if we have that many banished items. Maybe like Hideaway, except that doesn't become ink. And then the flavor text is, this is not going to end well. From Pleakley. Ooh, maybe we'll get a Pleakley card. And then I love Stitch with his little ray gun that has a carrot stuck in it, so it's going to explode. And then if you look at the like neon stuff coming from the plasma blaster, it forms a hidden Mickey. And then in the background, they pointed out, those are not mountains. Those are like the waves that you see in the trailer of the Azurite Sea, where the waves basically become like walls of a maze. Next, we have Stitch Alien Buccaneer. So this is the foil card that comes in the gift set for this set. And it is a 4-cost uninkable card in Emerald, 3 strength, 4 willpower, quest for 2. He is a Floodborn, so he shifts for 3. He's also an alien and a pirate. And his ability is ready for action. When you play this character, if you use shift to play him, you may put an action card from your discard on the top of your deck. So that's kind of cool. So if you want to shift him on 3 and play like You Have Forgotten Me on 4, or You're Welcome on 4, you could just go get it. So I think a lot of cards in this set seem to have what the magic people call the tutor ability. So you can like search your deck for a card. But the art on this is super cool. They pointed out like his little sash that he's wearing is the same fabric as Lilo's dress, which is super adorbs. Next, we have 2-cost inkable card, Mad Hatter's Teapot, an item in Amethyst. And its ability is no room, no room. So you exert this card, you pay 1 ink. Each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their discard. And the flavor text is Alice. My goodness, the tea missed the cup. Mad Hatter. No, my dear, the cup missed the tea. I always get like the Mad Hatter reminds me very much of like Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter, because they're kind of both a little kooky. Next, we have Sisu in her element, 5 cost, inkable card. 3 strength, 6 willpower, quest for 2, has challenger +2. So I immediately saw it and was like, ooh, this is a great card for like sealed or draft. The artwork is super cool. She's like a very Asian style dragon. So like long, no wings, and she's walking on water. And her flavor text says, I'm a water dragon. This is water. It's sort of my thing, which I think is so funny. Next, we have Gamora. So the villain, I guess, of this set, it seems. Kakamora boarding party, 4 cost, uninkable card in Ruby. It's a 5/2, so super strong. I think this might also be good in draft and sealed because it has so much attack power, or I guess strength power. And it has rush and quest for 1. And the flavor text is Moana. Do you think they saw us, Maui? They saw us. So I think this set will probably get many different Kakamora cards. That's what it sounded like. And there are different Kakamoras. There's like all the little Kakamoras, and there's like that King Kakamora. And I'm sure they're all going to have different abilities. Next, we have Tigger in the Crow's Nest. So 3 cost, inkable card, 0/4. See, I told you, tons of 0/4 cards. He is evasive, and he has Swash Your Buckles. Whenever you play an action, this character gets +1 strength and 1 lore this turn. So he could potentially become a 1/4, or if you play a bunch of actions, he could become like a 2/4. I don't think that's very good, because, you know, there's that peak card in Steel where, like, if you play 2 actions, he becomes like a 10 something, like something insane. So this is like that, but like weaker. But the art is really cool. Next, they showed off Jim Hawkins, Honorable Pirate. 7 cost, inkable card in Amber. 4/7, so is at least resistant to Medusa and Brawl. He has Bodyguard. He quests for 2. He has Hire a Crew. When you play this character, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal any number of pirate character cards and put them in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So obviously you have to play a pirate deck for this. So I was thinking maybe Amber Ruby, because there's some pirates in Ruby. Like there's the other Jim Hawkins card. I think that Stitch Rush card might be a pirate. I'm not sure, but the Kakamora for sure. Or you could do Amber Steel, because there's like John Silver in Steel. That's a pirate. So some interesting combos. Kind of expensive though. And he doesn't shift, but he has Bodyguard. So this would probably maybe be good in sealed, because at least it's inkable in case you don't get to 7 ink. But if you do get to 7 ink, this is like a big old Chenpo type character, and then you just quest behind it. Next, we have Yzma, 4 cost, inkable card in Amethyst, 3 strength, 3 willpower, quest for 2, and her ability is Feel the Power. So you can exert her. If you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. So this would be a good card to play when you have no more cards in your hand. And her flavor text is, one of these has got to work. Let's see what happens. And then this is a picture of the playmats for this set. So Elsa and Donald Duck. So that's it for my little recap of the Lorecast. Didn't go into too much detail. I figure most people just want to know what new cards are announced. So that's it. And as always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a whole handful of non-inkables. And I'm very excited to see what new cards are going to be released, because I feel like once they do the Lorecast and they reveal a couple new cards, then it starts to like gain momentum, and then we end up with like a flood. So all right, that's it. Bye.